In this presentation, we're going to discuss the California Public Employees Pension Reform Act, known as PEPRA, which took effect in January 2013. Before we start, let's take care of some housekeeping items. To provide you with a future reference and make your note-taking easier, we've provided a learning guide for this presentation. You'll see the link to the learning guide in the YouTube description box. Please note that due to the large number of participants, we will not be able to respond to member questions during this presentation, even though the chat feature shows as active. Please contact us if you have specific questions. We'll cover the California Public Employees Pension Reform Act, PEPRA, of 2013 and some of its most common impacts. We'll also go over the impacts that PEPRA has on working after retirement. View the summary of PEPRA document for CalPERS interpretation of key areas of PEPRA and related changes to the California Public Employees Retirement Law. You can find this document on our website under Forms and Publications. Let's start with the most common impacts of PEPRA. PEPRA became effective on January 1, 2013 for all new members coming into CalPERS membership. This act changes the way CalPERS retirement benefits are applied, including changing the retirement formulas and minimum retirement age. For non-safety classifications, the minimum retirement age was raised from 50 to 52. For those members in higher income brackets, it placed lower compensation limits on members. The law doesn't place a limit on what you can earn, it only places a limit on what compensation can be used for your retirement calculation. Once your earnings reach the compensation limit for the year, your employer continues reporting your compensation as earned. However, you and your employer will no longer make contributions to CalPERS for the remainder of the calendar year. If you were hired and enrolled in CalPERS prior to January 1, 2013, you are considered a Classic member. If you leave your CalPERS employer and then come back to the same employer, you'll retain your Classic membership and keep your same benefits. There is no time frame requirement. If you were previously a Classic member but leave CalPERS membership and later return to a different CalPERS employer, you may be considered a new member subject to PEPRA for that enrollment. This would have an impact on how your benefit is calculated. We'll cover a bit more on this shortly. If you became a CalPERS member after January 1, 2013, your employer should provide you the reciprocal self-certification form. On this form, you'll share if you previously worked under any other California retirement system. This information is then provided to us to help determine whether you are eligible to be a Classic or a new member. There are three main reasons that you would be considered a new member under PEPRA. First is if you joined CalPERS for the first time on or after January 1, 2013, and you have no prior membership in another California public retirement system. If you became a CalPERS member for the first time on or after January 1, 2013, but in the past you were a member of another California public retirement system, you may have not been eligible for reciprocity. This primarily means you didn't move from that system to ours within 6 months of leaving your previous employer. You can find more information about reciprocity on our Working After Retirement webpage, which includes a link to the When You Change Retirement Systems publication. If you were a CalPERS member prior to January 1, 2013, but then you moved to a different CalPERS employer following a break in service of more than 6 months, you're considered a new member. For example, if you worked for the Los Angeles Unified School District, left this month, and a year later began working for the California State University Irvine, you would then be considered a new member under CSU. All state of California departments, including California State Universities, are considered one employer. County offices of education in all school districts are considered one employer. And each individual public agency, for example a city, county, or utility district, is considered its own separate employer. Now let's discuss how PEPRA impacted the working after retirement requirements. If you are working after retirement for a CalPERS employer, certain restrictions must be met. Many decide to come back to work temporarily to a CalPERS employer as a retired annuitant. A retired annuitant works as an at-will employee for a CalPERS employer. In order to continue to receive your retirement benefits, there are restrictions on the work you can do for a CalPERS employer. First, you must wait 180 days from when you retire from a public employer before you can return to work within the same retirement system as a retiree without reinstating from retirement. This 180-day wait period begins on the day of your retirement. Second, the number of hours you work cannot exceed 960 hours in a fiscal year, which is July 1 through June 30th. There are no exceptions to this limit. You and your employer are responsible for tracking your hours to ensure that you don't exceed this limitation. View the summary of PEPRA document we mentioned earlier for CalPERS interpretations on key areas of PEPRA and related changes to the California Public Employees Retirement Law. To learn more about working after you retire, view our publication, Working After Retirement. You can also visit our YouTube channel and search for Working After Retirement. Before we end, I want to tell you that this webcast, like our previous webcasts, is available as a video on our YouTube channel. You can access our YouTube channel through our website, www.calpers.ca.gov, or directly on the YouTube website at www.youtube.com/calpers. Our presentation today was intended to provide you an understanding of the Public Employees Pension Reform Act of 2013. Please note that CalPERS is governed by the Public Employees Retirement Law. The information in this webcast is general. The retirement law is complex and subject to change. If there is a conflict between the law and the information presented in this presentation, any decisions will be based on the law. Later today, you'll receive an email with a short evaluation. Please answer all of the questions, as it's important for us to get your feedback to help us improve these presentations. Thank you for taking time out of your day to attend this presentation, and have a great day.